The story goes that Tang Pin was a successful candidate in the examination of the year Xin Chu. When he fell ill and was close to death, he suddenly felt a warm energy rising from his lower body. It gradually ascended, reaching his legs, causing them to lose sensation, then to his abdomen, causing his legs to become numb, and finally to his heart, the most resistant to death. At this point, Tang felt that memories of childhood and long-forgotten trivial matters were flooding into his mind like a tide. If it was a good memory, his heart felt serene. If it was a misdeed, he felt remorseful and agitated, as if oil were boiling in a pot, creating an indescribably uncomfortable sensation. He even recalled the incident when he was 7 or 8 years old, and had accidentally killed a young sparrow while attempting to raid a bird's nest. This memory stirred up his emotions, and it took him the duration of a meal to calm down. He continued to reflect on all his actions and deeds throughout his life, until they had been thoroughly reviewed. Then, he felt the warm energy, strand by strand, pass through his throat into his brain, and out through the top of his head, rising like a column of smoke to the sky. After several hours, his soul finally departed his body. He lost awareness of his physical form and sensed that he was adrift, without a destination, floating on the outskirts of a road. Suddenly, a giant appeared, towering dozens of yards tall. Bending down, he picked Tang up and placed him in his sleeve. Inside the sleeve, Tang felt cramped and stuffy, making him incredibly uncomfortable. Suddenly, he remembered that the Buddha could rescue one from danger. Thus, in the sleeve, he began to chant Buddhist mantras. After just 3 or 4 recitations, he was instantly expelled from the sleeve. However, the giant picked him up again and placed him in the sleeve. This repeated 3 times, after which the giant stopped picking him up. Alone and disoriented, Tang wandered along the roadside, uncertain of where to go. He then recalled that the Buddha was in the Western Paradise, so he decided to head west. After a short while, he saw a monk sitting by the road. Tang approached, paid his respects, and inquired about the path. The monk told him, the life and death records of officials are overseen by the sages Wen Chang and Confucius. You need to go to 2 places to clear your name before proceeding. Tang asked about their whereabouts, and the monk pointed the way, so Tang continued along the path. Before long, he arrived at the sage temple. Inside, Confucius was seated facing south. Tang hurriedly knelt down and explained his situation. Confucius said, if you want to clear your name, you need to find the emperor. He provided directions, and Tang continued on his way. Soon, he arrived at a palace that seemed like a royal residence, and entered. Inside, a deity was seated, the emperor as described in the legends. Tang knelt down and prayed. The emperor carefully inspected the records and said to Tang, you possess a sincerely honest heart. You can live for a few more years. However, your body has already decayed. Only by finding a bodhisattva can you be restored to life. Thus, he instructed Tang to quickly seek out a bodhisattva. Tang followed the path as indicated by the emperor. He reached a lush forest with verdant bamboo groves and splendid palaces. He entered a grand hall and saw a bodhisattva seated at the front. The bodhisattva had an elegant topknot, radiant with a golden glow. A willow branch was placed in a jade vase beside the bodhisattva. Tang respectfully prostrated himself and relayed the emperor's message. The bodhisattva's expression turned somber upon hearing the news. Tang continued to bow and implore. A venerable figure by the bodhisattva's side suggested, please exert great divine power to gather soil for flesh and bend the willow for bones. The bodhisattva agreed and promptly snapped off a branch of willow. Pouring a few drops of clear water from the vase, the bodhisattva mixed it into a paste, applying the mixture onto Tang's body. Then, celestial child carried him back, aligning his spirit with his body. Gradually, Tang began to feel movement and moaning sounds coming from his coffin. His family, astonished, gathered around and helped him out. He had fully recovered from his illness. Calculating the time, it had been 7 days since Tang had died.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.